Hi everybody, it's Kathy here once again from Beads, Boxes, and Beyond. And today I am going to try and do a quick flip through of another journal that I just now listed on Etsy. So if you're interested in this, go on over to Etsy. If you're at Etsy, welcome for coming over here. I really appreciate it. It'll give you a chance to see the insides of the journal that you're interested in. This journal is a big one. It's really quite big. It's got about a 2.5 to 3 inch wide spine. It's a hard front and a hard back cover. I have metal corner plates on each of the corners on the front and on the back. And the print on it is actually looks like a moth or a butterfly, which I thought was appropriate. I have a soft spine, which means there's nothing hard to it. It's very giveable, very easy to use. And I love the soft spines because it allows the person, whether they're right or left-handed, when you open up the journal, it lays flat. And there's no cumbersome to it. There's nothing cracking, nothing getting in the way. It's very flat. In fact, the charm that I have dangling off the back, you can't even tell it's there. It just, works really well for me. I really like the soft spines. So it has a black leather spine. And on the spine, I have a fishing lure sinker swivel thing here. And you can remove this if you don't want this dangling on your book and it bothers you, or you might lose it, whatever the reasons. You can remove it. I have just a few nature type charms on there, and then this piece here I actually picked up at the beach. It had, the hole was already in it, naturally done. So I had it, thought it worked really well there. So let's see, what else is this front piece here? Looks like an open envelope pocket, but it is not. It's a flat piece of paper that I made it to look like you could stuff stuff in it. I slid it and I actually put 2 feathers and a leaf in there, but you cannot pull them out and you can't put more things in there. It's permanent. And then of course there's a nameplate that you just tuck something from the top down in there. You can put a name of the book, person's name, an event, whatever this journal means to you. So one more thing that I want to talk about this real quick that I'm very proud of. I live down here in Southwest Florida, and we have a community art center that I'm just slowly getting into and taking advantage of what they have to offer. And a lot of times they have exhibits that you can submit your artwork in, and I do. I submit artwork in them every once in a while when they call for 3D art. I have won a couple of ribbons doing that. This one here in particular, I submitted to a much larger exhibit. The exhibit was held in Naples, Florida at the Naples Art Association, and it was through the Southwest Florida Fine Crafts Guild. Everybody's a member that wants to be of the guild, and they had this show, and I submitted a couple of pieces just thinking, okay, I'll just do it, it'll be fun, and submitted them. Well, I got a call and I had placed at this exhibit. So when I went to the reception, the opening reception night when they were giving out the ribbons and all, I was floored by the talent that was in this exhibit. I was floored by all of these beautiful fine craft pieces that I had seen. I was just taken aback by a lot of the people's artwork that was in there. But what really surprised me is not only did I get a ribbon, but I actually placed first place. And I got a blue ribbon, and I was very pleased with myself and very excited that it was so well received. So whoever receives this journal, I just want them to know that this is a first place winning journal. and it's near and dear to me, but I hope that it will be appreciated. Okay, so enough of that. Let's go on inside and see what we got in here. Now, I have blank pages and lined pages to write on, but I'm not going to go through every page, okay? And I'll just skip over those pieces, because then I also have signatures that have a lot of ephemera in them, and that's what I kind of want to cover, because the ephemera is what speaks to me and is what inspires me to do a lot of these journals. So this happens to be a CD file folder type thing that I put in the middle, and inside here we have a vintage postcard. There's nothing written on it. I don't even know where it is, although it says it was made in Germany, but it's just some beautiful landscaping, and it's very vintage, and the colors are gorgeous. So that's just tucked into this pocket. Then we have a vintage a vintage picture of this gentleman, which I was thinking he could have been the naturalist guy, the the scientist that wanted to record things, and I just put him in here. He was lost in a shoebox, the antique store, and so I gave him a home by placing him in the journal. And behind his picture, I have this card that you can write on. You could even use it for a bookmark. And then a large pocket here. I did not put anything in this large pocket, but it's a good size pocket. You could put a booklet in it or maps or anything like that. So this side here, it flips up, and we have a little tag that just gets tucked in here with a bit of my collage work on there. And you have a writing surface here and a chart of some they call it leaf characters. This picture here, I found it in an old framed. It's like I found a frame and you find a picture behind a picture. Well, I like doing stuff like that. I'll buy a frame for a reason, or it was given to me, and behind it there'll be these pictures. This, I looked it up, and it's not a very valuable picture, but it's just really pretty, and I thought it represent the birds and nature and all. And it's very brittle, very brown, and I just glued it on here to save it and for you to admire, okay? Here we have this small pocket, and this is a piece of film that has a picture of a bird and some grass. I don't know if you can see that very well. I just put that on that tag. We have a couple of postcards here. This one is Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. There's nothing written on it, but it is a very old postcard. You can see the surface of it. It's like the linen ones that you can find every once in a while. It's got a texture to it. But the colors are beautiful, very vintage. And I just love going through postcards because I am in love with the penmanship. Penmanship is something they're not teaching anymore, and it's going to be a lost art. So I collect postcards that have a lot of writing on it, especially the ones with written in fountain pen. Some of the older ones are just done in pencil, like this one here. This one is dated, if you can see this right here, June 29th, 1912. And it has the original stamp on it. So this is really an old one, and this is of the Grand Canyon. And that's tucked in there. Here we have a small tuck spot with a tag, and you can write on the back of that. A larger tag here. This is just some scrapbook paper that works well with this theme that I have going in the journal. We have this pull-out section, and there's just a little tag to tuck here, and then a couple of papers here to write on. When you unfold it, we have a little tuck spot here, and these are cards that came from a board game that I thought would be appropriate for this journal, and they're just tucked in there. And then this beautiful bookmark with some natural pieces. These are photographed on the paper. I didn't press these and put them on here, although that would be a really good idea, isn't it? You know, but they're photographed on there, but they're very life-like looking, real stuff. So let's put that there. Then I have 3 vellum envelopes, and in the first one I have a specimen, and it happens to be the maple leaf or helicopter, not maple leaf, maple sea pod. And you know, growing up, those were like helicopters that they would fly down from the tree. This one here I have like a milk pod seeds, or it could be like dandelion seeds. And those are tucked in here. There's a whole bunch in here. And then this one I just have a couple of leaves. I left these blank. You can write on them, number them, do whatever you want. You don't even need to keep these things in here, but that's what's in here. Then we have another section of paper, writing paper. There's a lot there. And we have another pull-out section. This pocket here happens to have a piece of old scrapbook ephemera that I had from long ago, and a tag. And then this long tag that has a piece, it has a, oh my God, a charm. Oh, why can't I think of like a charm of a tree that I thought would be appropriate. But this is beautiful, beautiful paper. You could use this as a bookmark and have that clip right over your page. You know, if you're reading and you just kind of do that. Okay, that's the kind of bookmark it is. And I have that tucked back here. So, like I said, oh, come on. There we go. This folds out, and we have a cascading notebook type paper. It's lined right here. And we have a couple of pockets here, another game card, and just a piece of ephemera that has some plant material on it. A little clip here with some butterflies, and another old postcard. Let me get it centered. Now this one, check it out. That's done in a fountain pen, and this one is dated April 7th, 1912 with the original stamp. I just, you know, I really, really love looking for these things in the antique store. And I like using original, vintage ephemera than to go and use digital printouts and things like that. If I can find the original, I'd rather put them in my journals. But you can't always find original stuff. People don't tend to hold on to paper products over the years. It tends to, you know, deteriorate. They tend to throw it away. What, you know, junk mail and stuff might become valuable in about 100 years. So it's hard to find some of the original type of ephemera. This is an original seed packet, vintage. It's very, very, I want to say vintage, old color to it. And it's a bit brittle. It is. It's a little brittle, but it's tucked right in here. And then this is a collage piece that I made from a playing card. It's got bee on there or something, a plant, maybe a buckeye. And this pretty cool postcard is the Redwoods of California, and it's a pretty old one. And check out that penmanship on there. And this card is dated 1910. Can you see that? 1910. Is that gorgeous? With the original stamp on it. So that one I saved from the antique store. This here happens to be a I repurposed this. This was a calendar that I had a few years back. So I was just repurposing the calendar, so I placed that there. It's just a very, very, very pretty picture. Here is the maple leaf and its seed pod, a sugar maple. And inside this vellum, I have an actual sugar maple seed pod in there. Here we have a pocket, and I have a bit of scrapbook paper on a big tag. And this is a vintage postcard. It's a raised relief embossed postcard. I don't know if I can get that effect. There we go. You see how that looks? Of a poppy. And this one is done in pencil, So you know it's pretty old, but I cannot see a date on that cancellation stamp at all. But it's pretty old looking, pretty cool, and another vintage piece. This here is a picture, another one like the birds before, I found in a frame, and it was just, I mean, I love the composition, I love the coloring on it. It just spoke to me. So I wanted to put it in this journal, very brittle, and so I just glued it right in place. Now there's an old postcard here. I tucked it into this little metal clip, and I'm not going to take it out because I just don't want to damage anything, and they're hard to take in and out. But check out that penmanship. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And again, I can't tell the date on the cancellation of that, but it's a pretty old postcard. And then on this side, I have a couple of tags that I turned into pockets. This is scrapbook paper that are remnants that I just kept to use for little tuck things. And this is a collage tag that I made. And that just gets tucked in there. Same here. I have a collage tag that I made with a dragonfly charm. And then I have just some of the little pieces from scrapbook paper that follow the theme of this journal. And we'll just stick that in there. Well, maybe not. Let's get that in first, maybe. There we go. And so then on here we have some vellum envelopes again. And this specimen we happen to have are two feathers, a cream colored one and a brown one. And then these are two different kinds of moss that I placed in here. And then we have another writing surface and a fold out. This just has a few pictures in it, but this photograph of a waterfall is just really awesome. Picked that up at the antique store, saved it from the shoebox. And this is a pretty new kind of bookmark, and it's a peacock feather. It's made out of really thin metal. And I just thought it'd be appropriate to put in here. You know, peacock feathers are gorgeous. So that's what that is. So we have a signature of our writing paper, and we come to another signature of the cardstock. It's a fold out. I've got two illustrations here with some space underneath for you to write on. It folds open. We got a writing surface. Check out that picture. Huh. Found that too, and that's a black bear in the woods. And then this here is a envelope that I made into a pocket. And I took one of these things here and made it into a field notebook, just a little pocket field notebook that you can put notes in. Let's see if I can get this tied back around. There we go. So that just gets tucked right in here. And with this closed, it won't fall out. So we have a 3-tier tuck pockets here. In the very top, I have this tag with some seashells on it. The next one we have, this came from a book, a page in a book, and it was just the bees. I put some lined paper on the back. So it's supposed to go like this, but because of the bees, I'm going to put it this way so you can see them. Then we have, this is a notepad for noting, oh my gosh, a notepad for notes. And I just really like the pattern on there and the colors. So I backed that up so you could write on it. And that just gets tucked right in there. This too is a memo-like notepad, came from a memo notepad. Love the colors on it, backed it up so you can write on it. And then this is just a piece of ephemera that I had in my stash from long ago. This here is a kind of a long pocket. I tucked in these two pieces so that way you can tell, you know, that there's something here that you can tuck in. That's why that's there. Okay. And then behind here I've got another tuck spot. And here is another piece just like the bumblebees from that same book. I lined the back, and you can use that to write on. Then I have this postcard. It's a picture. I have this picture of a deer out in the woods, and it's written in pencil. The date on this one is July of 1949 with the original stamp. So same theme, kind of all went together there. Coordinating my colors, you know. Cascading paper to write on. And then we've got another section of just paper, which brings us to the back cover of the book. Now, this envelope here has a magnifying glass in it. We'll open that in just a second, but first we're going to look at the back. I got tucked in behind there another field notebook, just a little quick, fun little thing you can throw in your pocket. And this original letter, and it is dated 1904 with the original stamp. Just look at that writing. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful writing. And it has the letter inside it. The letter, check this out. It's in a sepia color. It's like almost like an airmail tissue paper, but it's like a parchment paper. It's got a little, I don't know. It's just beautiful paper. But the writing is gorgeous. You can tell it's with a fountain pen because the lines gob with ink here and there. I mean, look at that. I just think it's gorgeous. So this is an original piece, and I tell you, it's hard for me to tear myself away from pieces like this. If I could, I would hoard them all. But I also want the people that are writers, that enjoy writing, and that know how important penmanship is, they'll treasure it and they'll enjoy it in here in the journal. So like I said, this right here is an envelope, and on the envelope it says magnifying glass. And what I did is I just tucked in here a really big magnifying glass piece that you can use for looking up close on plants and animals, you know, when you're out in the garden with your bumblebees and stuff like that. It has no safety thing around here, although the glass is ground down. You know, I don't know if you could really cut yourself with it, but I still would be careful with it. So I just tucked that in there as a little extra element. You don't have to keep it in there if you don't want to. And yeah, so that's the Naturalist, my journal in a nutshell. So thanks for stopping in. I really, really appreciate it. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions on how I did anything or why I did something or the color choices or anything like that, leave me a comment. I'll get right back to you and answer them. And if there's enough people inquiring about something, I'll even do a video on that too. So give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you are interested in seeing more of my videos. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and my Etsy shop, which all of those links will be in the description below. This, like I said, is going to be, it's in the process of being posted on Etsy right now as I speak. So thanks again for stopping in. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time, okay? Until then, I'll see you later. Bye.